Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. It's Doug here. We're getting ready to play our next episode of Fortune and Glory. We're playing against the Crimson Hand, which I'm sure you know already because you've probably been watching. We are playing with 3 characters, 1 from the base game, Jake Zane. He's a pilot, and 2 from the Treasure Hunters expansion. That's Angel Espinoza and Grant Jackson. So, what are we doing now? Well, we're about to get right into our next series of turns. In the last turn, we were able to collect some treasure, and I did manage to forget a couple of glory for Jake. He did collect a treasure, but he's got it in his repertoire of stuff. And I think I have missed some. I got to go back and look at the notes, but I think I have missed a couple of glory. I'm going to get that situated as we play. But that's the only thing that I think I didn't make them do right. I also, somebody wrote that you start your adventure, then you have to sneak by the enemies. I didn't read that. I'd love to see that. Maybe it's in the newer rules. Hard to say. I'm not sure. And most importantly, I want to thank you all for all the great comments and feedback. I really appreciate you joining me at the table and watching the game and having fun with Fortune and Glory. It's a bit of a hard game to get through, but I did get it on some good authority that there is going to be a reprint of this game. I don't know when, but it is coming. So if this is something that you want, maybe you can hold off and not go spend $300 on eBay to get it, because it's pretty hard to get. With that said, let's get started and enjoy our next episode of Fortune and Glory. As we get started, it was Jake Zane who I missed giving the glory to, so I'm going to put this on his board right here. And the reason why that is because he cleared 3 adventures in taking the Cup of the Sacred Stone, which we still have to get in and delivered for his fortune. We got to get that done soon, and he's going to pop in this turn and probably get that done. So with that said, we're going to start with our movement phase, our initiative phase, and get some initiative rolled up. Might as well start with Jake here. So here is going to be his initiative roll. It is a 6. God, he's been really doing well on the initiative rolls. Here we have 2 more. We have Angel. She got a 6 too, so we're going to have to roll off. And then Grant got a 2. So Grant will be going 3rd. This is going to be Jake's dice. This is Angel's dice. Let's see. It looks like it's going to be Jake. Going Jake, then Angel, then Grant. And that's the order of movement for this turn. No one rolled a 1, so we didn't get any more event cards. And then we're going to go into our movement phase. So we'll start with Jake. And what I'm going to do is just take a different color die. So if they have a white die for initiative, I'll give them a green die for movement. Let's roll and see what Jake's movement's going to be. Gosh, a 6. He didn't need it, unfortunately. And then for Angel, her movement is going to be a 5. That's probably not going to matter either because they are in a cliffhanger. And I think we resolved that. I got to remember the rules now. It's been so long. Anyway, we're going to roll this again, and it's 2 again. I think that we resolve the cliffhanger now. So let me think about that. No, it still happens during the adventure phase. We just get to roll movement in case we get a 1, which would allow us to get an event card. So with that out of the way, Jake is absolutely ready to move and take some actions. So we're going to get on that with him. He is up in the British Isles, and we are going simply to move him to London. Let's go check that out. So as crazy as it sounds, he rolled that huge movement of a 6, and all we got to do is go right there into the city, where he's going to do a number of actions. Now, London, if you can't see it there, is a major city. That means it's a big, big city. It's a cool place. It's a place that's important. And so we get to sell his artifact, the first artifact being sold. And we're not going to get to just sell it for 1. We are going to get to sell it for 5 fortune. I'm sorry, for 4. We get to add 1 to it and sell it for 5 fortune. There it is. There's the 5 fortune. That goes on his board. And this The artifact, the Cup of the Sacred Stone, has found its way into the London Museum, where it will be shared to exhibit to all. And that's amazing. Now, he's still in the city, so he's got a bunch of things he can do. He can buy some stuff. We're definitely doing that. He can also have a city encounter. I think we have to do the city encounter before. Maybe getting out of sequence again, because I'm still... This is like... It's been a long time since I played this, and as much as I love it, it just didn't get to the table, and I can't tell you why. I think just because so much new stuff's coming out all the time, it's hard to get everything going the way you want, and this is one of my favorite older games, and I'm glad I'm getting it to the table, but I have to refresh every moment or two to make sure I'm getting it right. Okay, so not that it's going to destroy our what we just did, but I do have to draw the city card first before we get to that. So we're going to take a look at the city card and see what we get. Okay, we drew the card Stolen Thunder. It's a city event, secret social. It says play on any two heroes that are in the same space and roll a d6. One hero loses that much glory and the other gains it. Your choice. Or play on a hero that is in the same space as a villain. Oh man, that villain died. Oh, that sucks. I would have gained d6 plus 2 glory. So I guess, I guess we're going to roll a d6 for Angel and Grant. Grant does have 3 glory, so I guess he might end up giving some of that up. Let's see. 6, so yeah, I guess Angel gets Grant's glory. I don't know what happened there. Angel's thieving from Grant. That's a terrible, terrible thing. But that's what happened. And that means that this card is done. So we have done that city card. That is great. We're going to put that away, get rid of the city deck, and continue on with the city adventure. Now, there's a number of things you could do in a city. We sold our artifact. That was pretty important. And I just wanted to read, I think I wanted to read this to you just in case. I'm going to take a look. City space, what other things can we do while we're in a city space? Well, we can heal. I got to tell you, Jake's wounded, and we can spend 1 glory each to heal, and then it's 5 glory to make a purchase in a city. So I think that we're going to do that. So interacting with a city, we gain the extra fortune. We can spend 5 glory to, 5 glory to do that, and 1 glory to heal. So we're going to do this. So we're going to spend 2 glory while we're in the city for Jake. That's going to heal the 2 wounds that he has. He is good to go. By the way, that 5 fortune that we got from our artifact is actually getting us closer to our victory by 5 points. So now we need 25 instead of 30. And then we're going to spend those 2. We did that. And then, of course, he is going to spend money on gear. Now, how I play this game, and, the house rule we have is we're going to draw 3 gear cards, and he's going to get to choose one of those to buy with his 5 glory. So let's, and that's just, there's so many cards, you could literally look through them and buy stuff, and, oh, what's that worth, what's that worth? And actually, this is the wrong deck. I need the common gear from the city deck. Let me grab that. So I meant to get the common items deck out, because how I do this is I assume, I act like London has a market, and the market's going to allow us to buy 1 of 3 cards. We're going to pull this from the deck. And he could pay what the common item's worth, or he can spend 5 coins or 5 glory for a gear card. So what do we got here? We've got a supplies, adventure plane, and a book of lore. Those are mainly too expensive for him. So the only one he can afford out of this group, because he only has 5 glory right now, is this. Discard any time except during a fight round to fully heal. Not bad, but I don't think we're going to do that. So we're going to put that back and shuffle him back in. And we're going to spend his 5 on a random gear card instead. And that's how that's going to go. So let's take the gear deck. Could be an ally, could be a gear card. We can actually get an ally for 5 instead. Well, doesn't he have something to do with allies? That's somebody else, right? Spin an adventure phase. Each of the following cities. Oh, we have to get to Rio and Sydney for him. That's his special ability. I think with him we'll get a gear card. Right, gear card. Yeah, okay. What do we get? We get goggles. Okay, add +2. You know what? This is apropos for him, right? There are gear, clothing, and glasses. We get to add +2 adventure dice during any tech or flying test. Okay, well that helps us with tech tests, and we also have a bonus already. As an ace pilot, we get +4, so now we get +6. Discard to prevent all wounds you would take from a single source as well. So the goggles can take a hit for us too. I guess that's okay. And then lastly, I think we're going to choose to do the port encounter as well. We might as well while we're here, right? Let's do it. Villain run-in. Uh-oh. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's going to be a fight. He's had to fight quite a bit. At least now we got some goggles there. So let me get that out. What does a villain run-in do? It says, draw a random villain. The hero must immediately complete 2 fight rounds against that villain. Then the villain is removed. So this is one of those scenarios we're going to draw a villain out of the deck, and we're going to fight it. But we don't really want to necessarily beat the villain, because it's really not going to matter that much. Let's see, I think, did we draw a random villain, does it say? Just, I'm going to check. Random villain. The hero must immediately complete 2 fight rounds against that villain. Then, okay, yeah. We'll get the villain deck out. It could be a villain from anything. Let's check it out. So here are our villains. You know what? We got to remember this too. Just take a look at that as we look at it. While the villains have at least 1 artifact that is a death artifact anytime. We've got to remember that, but we're not worried about that now. So we're going to shuffle up this villain deck. And Jake Zane has encountered a villain in London. At least he gave away his artifact already. They can't take the fortune from him now. Alright, so let's draw and see who it is. Uh-oh. Ran into one of the Nazis. Herr Teufel. He's got knowledge. No, we're not worried about that. We're not worried about his arcane lore. Gains +1 in combat for each artifact. Doesn't matter. It's just his combat of 4. He's got a wounds of 8. Doesn't matter about the wounds of 8. We just need to survive 2 rounds of combat with him. So let's do that. We're going to get 4 green dice for Herr Teufel and 4 dice for us. I mean, we could knock him out before he takes us down. I doubt it, but we'll see. We just have to survive 2 fight rounds with him. So let's see what happens. Well, we got 1 hit on Jake Zane and 2 hits on the villain. So let me get to those hits out. I tell you, I have not been well organized in this game. So here's the 2 hits on Jake. I thought I had 2 wounds out for him already, but now he's back to 2 wounds again. And then, 1 wound against him and 2 wounds against Herr Teufel. Obviously, we're not going to knock him out in 2 rounds. He's going to have to survive another fight round. Looks pretty good from here. Yeah, green was Herr Teufel, so we actually did 3 hits against Herr Teufel. Doesn't matter, we didn't kill him. But what we didn't do is suffer any more wounds. And actually, we didn't even suffer that 1 that we took because Jake has a defense of 1. So we didn't suffer any of that, and Herr Teufel goes back to the villain deck. Well, that wasn't so bad after all. And it does get rid of this dock token, so we don't have to worry about that anymore as a potential thing for us. Boy, it was a long day, and I realize I'm like not using real words sometimes. But that's okay. We're going to have fun with this anyway. All right, so we were captured in the last adventure phase with Angel Espinosa and Grant Jackson, and we have to get to this cliffhanger. Now, we still have 3 successes on the Mask of Osiris, and we kicked the tail out of Angelica Hamilton and sent her packing. So she's no longer there. But we do have to survive this. And what does it say for us here? We've been captured. And I can't read this because my eyes are so bad. They are on to you. Find a way to break free without getting yourself killed. Okay, so we have to make a cunning 6 test. If we're failed, instead of being KO'd, we have to fight and defeat a Nazi enemy with +3 dice. So who has the best chance? Cunning 6. That is going to be Angel. So Angel is going to be rolling for this challenge. We don't need this dice anymore because we know what they're doing. I'll just put the dice for their initiative down there just so I can remember it. Let's see. Okay, we need to roll a 6 on some dice. So actually, I'm going to take the 2 dice from Jake Zane because they were a 6. And we got 3. Here we go. 3 dice to try and get. Let me just look at her cards. Nope, nothing in her cards is going to solve this for us. Okay. And what about her abilities? This is a cliffhanger Nazi, so we don't think we're going to get anything out of that. Nope. We just have to roll. We did it! Go! We got a 6! All right. That is awesome. So we immediately recover 3 glory. Angel's kicking it in the glory right now. And we get to continue our adventures unabated. This is so awesome. So we passed our cliffhanger. That gets discarded. We get our big giant deck of adventures out, and we get to decide what we're going to do. We're going to press on. Of course, we're going to continue on. And you know how this works. We're going to draw from the bottom. And after we escaped the Nazis who were holding us aboard their ship. If you remember, there was a boat there before. We escaped into an ice cave. It says, danger, underground, ancient. And it says, these these icy and foreboding caves, my eyes are so bad, echo with the memories of the ancients, long dead. So we have to do a lore test. Well, that's going to be Grant. Grant has a lore, and then it says, requires an extra... I think we're not in ice, we're in mountains. So if we were in an icy area, for example, Siberia, we would have to get an extra success. But we're not, so we're going to go over to Grant. All right, everybody, here we are with Grant Jackson. He's got the ice cave going on. And I'm going to move this card out of the way. I'm looking to see if he's got anything that we can do. No, he's just going to have to rely on his lore of 3. He's a mercenary, starts the game with a gear card. That was the pistol, but that's all it gets. Now it says... he's the one that needs to get a sidekick. We need to get him to a city with some glory so we can actually get a sidekick. Right now, we just need 5s. All right, we got 1 success. That is awesome. Let's take that. Boom, 1 success on there. We need 1 more. Come on, Grant. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, that was like crazy successful right there. So 3 successes. We needed 2. We beat the glory. We beat the ice cave, which means we're going to get 3 glory. And we're not done yet. We're just going to put that right here. He hasn't earned it yet, but this is done. So we snuck our way through the ice cave after escaping the Nazi presence in Latin America. And then we're going to do something else. Let me see. This success now goes on to the Mask of Osiris. The Mask of Osiris now has 4 successes on it, y'all. So that means we only need 2 more to get the mask. So what do we get now? We get... Nightclub Rendezvous. So after sneaking in the ice cave, we go to some local community where we are at a nightclub. It says danger, treachery, femme fatale. Okay, it's only glory 2, so it shouldn't be too hard. Discover the truth as you pick your way through the crowded nightclub to meet your contact. Okay, so we're trying to meet a contact there. Grant and Angel are working together. So I think in this case, a cunning of 3. We're going to go back to Angel. She has a cunning of 3. And I don't think there's any bonuses that we can get here. We just need to succeed and get a 6. Okay, Angel, come on. Let's get this done. No. God, we're back in a cliffhanger again. This is going to be a challenge for us, y'all. We are back in a cliffhanger. I should have camped down because now Grant has lost his glory. Bummer. All right, and what is our cliffhanger? So we were in the nightclub. We failed to meet our contact. We ended up in a shootout. It's a trap! Clearly, they were waiting for you. So the Nazis found us or somebody. Cliffhanger, ambush, fight. We're going to have to fight. We're going to draw an enemy card. This fight has a defense of 1. So next round, Angel and Grant are going to have to fight an enemy. And Grant's going to do that because he's got a combat of 6. But that ends the round for us for our adventure phase. So what happens after the adventure phase? Well, let's take a look at the card. I love how this tells a story. We're actually doing really well against the villain right now. The villain track has not moved at all, and we have 5 already in the bank. So we're doing pretty good. Now, we've got to go after one of these other items. We'll see what that's going to be next, but right now we're just trying to get this ridiculous Mask of Osiris. There was a special ability on that, right? This artifact is worth +2 fortune. That's right, we got to get that. Okay, so we did our adventure phase. Now we go into our villain phase, and we're going to pop over to the villain board. Yepers, here we are at the villain board, and we're going to draw our villain event card. What do we get? Orders to kill. This remains in play. Great, that's 2. That was 2 we're going to have to keep track of. This card plays on the table. Oh, no. Oh, it's a villain. Okay. Next time hero fights a villain, the villain gains +5 fight dice for the first fight round. That is rough. Remains in play until that happens. So we're going to have to check this at every point in time where we... well, my light went out again. That's the second time that's happened to me in this playthrough. We're going to have to deal with that later. But now we are going to the... outpost stage, right? So we know that the Dark Sanctuary, we only have 1 out there right now. And we're going to roll a d6 on that. Now, on a 4, 5, or 6, we're going to place a Crimson Hand Acolyte on the artifact adventure with the lowest adventure number. What's interesting is we haven't had a event come up. So we've been lucky there because the event could put out a new Dark Sanctuary, make it harder for us. So we've been really blessed, luckily, in that area. Now, let's roll this 4, 5, or 6. We're finally going to put out an Acolyte. Let's see if it happens. It does not! Wow! We have not put out an Acolyte yet. These poor guys here, they're waiting in the wings going, boss, let me out there, man. I want to fight for you. And they're just saying, nope, not having any of it. So now we're going to go back to the last part of this step, which is the villain adventure phase. Now, Angelica, she was KO'd and then delayed, and so now she's ready. Next turn, she'll go out on the board, but not this turn. It was great that we KO'd her so early on. But the Inquisitors here at the in Eastern Europe trying to get the Dagger of the Golden Sun. And the Inquisitor has a search value of 5. He's also a fanatic, but that doesn't matter right now. We only care about his search value. So we're going to roll 5 dice. And he's got 2 wounds on him right now. He's got 8 wounds, though, so he's kind of hard to defeat. He's got no defense, though. And he's only got one success on this artifact. This artifact requires 4 successes. Let's see what he can do. Now, if he rolls a 4, 5, or 6, he's going to get a success. If he rolls a 1, he gets another wound. So look at that. That was bad and good. So he does get another wound, which is going to go away, actually, because he succeeded. He got all the successes he needs. And he collects the Dagger of the Golden Sun, which is worth 4 glory for the enemy. We're going to take this off of here. We don't need this anymore. Put this with our discards. And then we're going to have to get another artifact out. So this goes into their vault, and they are now at 4 on their score track here. Now, if they collected glory, like from a temple, that's where this goes. And for every 3, they would get another bump up the track. So right now they're at 4. Now, the thing about this is, when they collect artifacts, they gain bonuses, but you notice none of the bonuses apply to this one. This is a sword. It was a weapon, right? The dagger. So it didn't apply. So we're, again, even though they collected and they're catching back up to us, they got lucky. We got lucky, rather. And we did not lose anything there. Now, also, this guy, gentleman, comes back. He's simply delayed, and he'll go ready and then come back to the board in a turn. I'll refresh my memory on that. I don't remember if he starts ready or delayed. I think he starts delayed. I'm going to check that. I'll be right back. Okay, the villain does come back in a ready state, so he will go right back out on the board next turn. So both of them are going to come out. This is where things could go a little south on us. And of course, any wounds that he had are gone as a result of him returning to his base. Okay, now we are going to be placing out a new artifact and adventure. Here's the decks. Give it a quick cut. There we go. So our adventure is going to be of Atlantis. There's no bonus there. It only takes 3 to succeed at, and the artifact is going to be the axe. The axe of, ooh, that's 5 with only, we got to get to that one. Man, where is that going to be? The axe of Atlantis. It is only 3 adventures to complete it, but 5 fortune to succeed. So we're going to have to go place that back out. Here is the token. The C token is going back on there. Then we're going to go draw a location card to see where it goes. Here is our location deck. I'll just give it a quick cut. Let's see where this new artifact is going to go. It's going to go into Manchuria. Well, that's pretty... We got 2 really good... All 3 artifacts over on this side of the board. We got to get Jake moving. Take that off too. That was for his successes. And that is where the artifact has gone. And interestingly enough, that puts 3 major artifacts within a hair's breadth of each other. Unfortunately, our other 2 heroes are still trying to collect this Mask of Osiris. And it's worth a lot of fortune, so it's okay that we're doing this. And unfortunately, we're going to see a villain come back there already. And it will be Angelica Hamilton, because that's the highest valued one. And the next highest valued one is unfortunately going to be the Mask, the Axe of Atlantis. It is a 5 as well, only 3. So I don't know if Jake's going to be able to get there that quickly. He could get there, well, 1, 2, 3. Oh man, he could get there if he could fly, and he doesn't. He wasted all of his glory. What a bummer. Well, that's that. Okay, so we have completed this turn. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. Yeah, I'm still going back to the rules. Sorry, it'll probably be a couple of times. I just want to make sure I'm getting it right for you. And I hope you're enjoying our playthrough. Of course, if I did make any mistakes, please let me know. And I will see you in the next video. Now, in the next video, we're going to try and get the Mask of Osiris completed. But we're going to have to deal with Angelica Hamilton again. She's a villain of the Crimson Hand. That means that all of our tests, unless we can get rid of her, are going to be deadly. It's not a good thing. And then, of course, we're going to have our friend the Inquisitor pop over to the Axe of Atlantis. This could set us back quite a bit because, remember, he's got a search of 5. He only needs 3 successes to get that. And he gains +1 combat if he's carrying a artifact. So, what does that say? For each wound he has. For each wound he has. So if we go and do damage to him, but we don't KO him, he's going to be tougher to deal with. Anyway, and then all 3 of those are over there. So we got the Axe of Atlantis, the Jar of Hades is in Japan. This is the Sea of Japan or something. And then we've got the Amulet of the Golden Mummy up in Siberia. So all of those are right there. We got to get Jake over there and get him going right, and hopefully maybe next turn we can win this shootout that we're in our cliffhanger. We beat the shootout and continue to get the Mask of Osiris. That'll put us ahead pretty nicely. But not till next time. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.